Sunday morning. It was one man sadly has died, and a man and woman, aged 19 and 32, suffered serious stab wounds. They're still in hospital, and 5 other people, aged 23 and 33, were less seriously hurt. I'll bring updates on this as we get more information. Nick.
Josh Giltrap reporting from Birmingham. Coming up in the light of the Daily Mail campaign, Get Britain Flying Again, we'll be speaking with the billionaire hotelier Surinder Arora. He owns hotels such as the Sofitel at Gatwick and the Renaissance at Heathrow, looking at associated businesses, because it's known, we know the job toll is horrific anyway in the airline business, but of course the knock-on effect, that's coming up after we dive into the world of business now through the eyes of Aquis Exchange commentator David Buick. And David, just when you think you've covered every story there could possibly be, along comes an idea where a company is actually going to pay its staff to go to work. I speak of, David, good morning.
Good morning, Nick. Bloomberg, and I doff my tip for well done. Bloomberg employs about 20,000 people globally and about 4,000 people in London. And in order to get people to go back to work, they're going to offer as much as £55 a day to cover travel costs and returning to their offices.
So this is to allow them, if they're nervous of trains, they jump a cab or something like
absolutely.
that.
And I just think that this whole emphasis, which was reiterated by the Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab yesterday, of the essential nature it is to get back to work. Nobody is underestimating the damage that COVID could be done in the wrong conditions. We understand that. There was also an excellent piece at the top of the business section of the Times, the Sunday Times yesterday. Not going back to work could cost this country £15 billion per annum, and that is very, very significant. One of the reasons I think, we've got, I'd like to just touch on this subject, Nick. There's an IPO coming up in about 3 weeks' time called the Hut Group, which is an upmarket online retail. £4.5 billion price tag. It covers all kinds of luxury goods and the rest of it. Again, handled by Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley. Top brigade, but nothing problem with it. But the number of UK companies during the course of the next 6 months to a year will be looking for fresh capital, loans, all kinds of things that small and medium-sized stockbrokers in this country should be dealing with and getting, and absolutely setting London and all the companies, the SMEs, back on their feet. How can you do this being from home? And also with Brexit coming up as the relationship, we thought we got that hacked and the rest of it. I beg of the City of London, I do not want to see tumbleweed flowing down the roads. Get back to work. It's absolutely essential.
Staying with the City of London, staying with money. Last week we did the story how many people, mortgage rates now, a mortgage application rate is back to where it was prior COVID. But what are the banks up to?
Well, they're now saying the most, Barclays has set the ball rolling, but they're all going to fall into line, Nick. The best they're going to offer is 4.49 times your salary in order to be able to secure a loan. We have seen some feverish stuff coming out, and I imagine Halifax this morning is going to tell us that the businesses themselves have rallied by significantly, and also that prices are probably up 3.5%. All I can say is that once people understand how difficult those people want to leave London and go to the country, unable to sell their houses, it's going to be a much more difficult mortgage market and a much more difficult house trading operation than people get credit for. At the moment, everybody is euphoric, but when the dust settles, how many of these deals are actually going to be consummated?
David, thank you. You're from Aquis Exchange. We'll talk in an hour's time.
For Market Breakfast on LBC, call 0345 6060 973.
Now let's pick up on that campaign coming up at 7:40, 20 minutes before 8. I mentioned the front page of one of your newspapers. Ministers review the rules. Test hopes to halve quarantine time. Air passengers could be tested 8 days after arrival. Other plans to try to get Britain flying again. Aviation bosses are furious, it says, at the slow pace of progress with a commitment for border tests by the end of the week. That's obviously the airline industry, but there are so many associated industries as well, one of which is the hotel trade. So let's bring into the conversation hotelier Surinder Arora's company, chairman of the Aurora Group. His company has hotels right across the country, but specifically, I think, with the Sofitel at Gatwick and the Renaissance at Heathrow. Good to have you on, Surinder. What's the impact been for you and your colleagues at the Aurora Group?
Good morning, Nick. Well, it's been a complete disaster. I think not just the hotel industry, Nick, but all industries, especially the travel tourism, whether it's the airlines, airports, hotels, everywhere. It's been a complete disaster. And I think really what we need to do is to make sure that we actually get the economy moving. We need to get our great nation moving. And the only way we can do that is by installing confidence in public rather than keep changing things. And I appreciate what the government are doing, which is, well, let's make sure that we keep the numbers down, let's make sure that we don't get into another lockdown. But the only way, even if we get vaccine, I hope and pray we do sooner than later, we get a vaccine this year, it's still going to take a long time for this horrid disease to go away. We're here to live with it for a while, and the only way we can get the economy moving, our country moving, is by getting confidence in people. I recently went to Dubai, and the way the airline and the way the airport and the way everything worked was amazing from a health and safety perspective. Everyone was wearing masks, but in Dubai, I did not see a single person on the roads, in the shopping malls, at the airport, all wearing masks and washing their hands and doing the best we can. So I think what we really need to do is make sure that the government can listen carefully, not just to the airports, not just to the airlines, but also to businesses, to make sure that we can actually get this testing done. The regime of trying to install confidence and getting the testing done on the way in and out of the airports.
Well, let me ask you this, Surinder, because the two key government ministers are Grant Shapps and Matt Hancock for Health. Mr. Hancock is here later taking calls from my listeners. What would you, as a businessman whose business, a chunk of your business depends on it, what would you say to him? What does he need to do about quarantine and these tests?
I think it's very simple. What you need to do is install confidence in the public and make sure that we are open for business rather than our barriers, our shutters down. And I think one of the ways, Nick, also is to, Heathrow recently announced about the possible airport testing at £150 per head and doing it twice. So a family of four could end up paying £1,200, which is a lot of money. People won't be doing that to reduce from 14 days to 6-7 days. But the things like the saliva testing, which is much easier and more accurate, and I'm not a scientist, but I've been told by relevant parties that the saliva testing, as an example, is much quicker, much more safer, and more affordable. So if we can do that kind of thing, and if we can actually install that confidence in the public, and we will have to be responsible, reasonable, control of all the public, that we do need to wash our hands, we do need to wear our masks. And if Matt Hancock and Grant Shapps can actually look at it from not an airline or a hotel perspective, but from the nation perspective, we need to install confidence in the public.
And lastly, Surinder, you and the Aurora Group were very close to plans for Heathrow expansion. Air bosses are saying it could be 3, 4, 5 years before the industry is back where it was in February pre-COVID. Are you still hopeful of expansion? Do you think it should go ahead? Where are you on that, Surinder?
Well, I'm still hopeful. I've always been Mr. Optimistic in life, and I think that's something that we need to make sure, again, from the nation perspective, that we are the best in the world, we are competitive. And one of the things, again, Nick, Heathrow was actually was in the Telegraph, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, that Heathrow have now asked the airlines to pay them or fund them for over £500 million on abortive cost for the Heathrow expansion. And we did the same work, and we spent less than £50 million, and that again goes to show. And CAA have now confirmed that we are a genuine party. We obviously the team that we had around us, that we are a credible party. And yet, where Heathrow spent over 500 million, we spent less than 50 million, and that again goes to show about why it is a bad thing for the nation and for the airport.
And the team you put together, lastly, they had years of experience of airports all around the world, as I recall, because we spoke about this previously.
We did, and we had the likes of Bechtel. They are world-leading infrastructure team members. We had an amazing team working, 300 people working on this project. Heathrow had 1,900 people. So there's a big difference there, but we did put the best out there, and we have a credible plan for the expansion. So sooner or later, when the world comes back, hopefully, praise God, will be there, making sure that we do break up the normal thing.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk on that. We'll talk again. Thank you for your time today. Good luck to you, family, and all the staff that you employ as well. I know you've got more than 3,000 staff that you are employed, so it's crucial. Surinder Arora, who's chairman of the Aurora Group, and I should say founder of the Aurora Group as well, hotels. So I think it's nearly 20 hotels across the country, but specifically in connection with our conversation with the Sofitel at Gatwick. and the Renaissance at Heathrow. We'll come to your views on that exclusive. Also coming up after news, pressure now for Priti Patel, the Home Secretary, to change the law as regards Extinction Rebellion fanatics who shut down the free press at the weekend. Although for some they see no problem. Nothing to see here, said former Shadow Home Secretary Diane Abbott, not talking to me by the way.
These are legal tactics, and we don't want to talk as if it's not illegal to take direct action, because direct action has been legal since the time of the suffragettes.
We'll have more on that after the 7:45 LBC News headlines with Simon Conway.
West Midlands police say a 27-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of murder and 7 counts of attempted murder following a series of stabbings in Birmingham on Sunday. The Prime Minister says the UK and the EU should move on if a post-Brexit trade deal can't be reached by mid-October. And as the government encourages people to return to the office, an exclusive poll for LBC has found just 1 in 13 employers are desperate to do so. In others, some rain for the west and north west and the east and have trouble degrees. As the travel line plans after accusing the M23 in both directions, says there this pest, a single mosquito. He's as calm as a courgette. So, be like the money calm bull. Get money calm. Money supermarket.
Call Nick Ferrari now. 0345 6060 973 LBC.
I work for a living. I work all my days. Who could have predicted this extraordinary phase? Time stood still, the clock kept ticking. Business is beating, trade still kicking. I'll stay strong, keep my head above water. For me, my customers, and my daughter. Adapt to new ways, work where I please, get paid on time and it's cash flow with ease. With experts beside me, let's press play. New tomorrow starts today.
New Sage cancelled. Try free for 3 months at sage.com. Charges apply after 3rd month unless cancelled.
Hear that? That's the sound of Mo, zipping along in a free now black cab going to his meeting. And that's him zooming to town with friends in a free now private hire vehicle. Black cab, private hire vehicle. Black cab, private hire. Black cab, private hire. See, with black cabs and private hire vehicles together on ride-hailing app Free Now, you're in control. So however you roll, download Free Now and get 30% off your first 5 rides with code LONDON. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know that Co-op now deliver repeat prescriptions to your home for free? If you're registered with a GP in England, you can securely view and order your repeat prescription online. Your medication is delivered to you free of charge and at no extra cost to the NHS. There's no need to visit a pharmacy unless you want to. Search Co-op Health to download the app or register online. Co-op, it's what we do. Co-op Health is a provider of NHS services. Full terms and conditions available at co-op.co.uk/health.
A nice weekend, a nice walk, a nice relax in the sun. It's nice what you really want, or it's nice in the
stop. I cannot see any company insisting people go back to the office. Pretty certain people are still spending just more locally. Finally, because those city actors were senior fellow at Policy Exchange, and indeed Mr. Walton's published a paper last year which said that Exile's group ideology was rooted